Good morning, everyone. Um, we talked a lot about customer experience and what we can do for customers and data sharing and data porting yesterday. What I really want to be showing you today is what is that customer experience? What does that actually look like when we actually port data? How do the customers feel? So let's start off with the promise to the customer. So many of you talked about the promise to the customer. Let's see what you actually communicated to customers in the first place. So for one, we've told them that you can access all the information in one place, that payments will be easier. And then when you need to make that payment, you can check your funds. And then if you make a mistake, your claims will be faster. And finally, if you want to apply for a loan, for a mortgage, this is going to be a much easier process. In effect, one of the largest banks here has said that PSD2 and open banking is going to make it easier for customers. Easier, faster, and safer. But is this the reality? Do our millions, billions of customers actually experience this? So I, for one, as a customer, received this. Many of you, both whether it's fintechs, whether it's partners, whether it's banks, have said SCA has not been a great experience. But imagine me as a customer. How has that experience been for me as a customer? What is that communication to the customer? How many times will a customer have to experience this before they give up? So at MAPA, I'm very privileged to be able to see the actual journeys that customers go into, to be able to see what their onboarding and servicing journeys are, and also what those journeys are when they actually port their data. And I sort of break this out into three large areas. The first area is about gaining access in the first place. Do customers know that they can actually share and port their data? How do we talk to them about this? The second area then is initiating that access. So what's that experience when they want to grab that piece of data for them for their specific use case that you've told them they can do? And the third part, when we talk about SCA, this is particularly important. It's about managing that access. What is that actual experience that they actually go through? So let's talk about gaining access in the first place. What should be a good experience? Well, as I said, the customer must actually know that they can share their data. And I'm not talking about marketing communications. I'm not talking about customer information. When they get onto that platform, onto that app, do they know that they can do this? Is it clear? Is it a simple toggle to help them do this? And of course, communication is still essential. It's about knowing when they get onto, when you really want to convert them, when you want to put that call to action to happen, do they know of the benefits? Is it as simple? I will give you a global view of your finances. You don't need to do any calculations. Is that clear to customers that the true benefit is there for them? And then finally, I think this is a lot of text when you look at this particular example. And most of us assume that customers know what data sharing, data porting is. We cannot assume this. We cannot assume that all segments of our customers understand this. And for some of them, they need the crutch. They need to have an explanation particularly to show that they are in control. I like this example because it says it's about you sharing, so you are making that choice. It's about you authorizing this. It's about a service that you, as a customer, has asked for. It's about empowering the customer. So the customer knows that they can get access to their data. So what is that engine? What is that motor that powers them through in terms of initiating that access? What do we need to say to them in that journey? At a very, very basic level, it's about reassuring them. I like this example. It's very informal. It's no surprise it's from a US provider that, I too, as a provider, am concerned about your data. And this is what I'm putting in place to make you feel reassured. And oddly enough, it's also that the customer should feel they have a choice. So this is actually a mortgage journey here. And the customer is communicated, you can have a much faster journey if you retrieve your assets electronically. Or alternatively, you can do this manually. It's your choice, but you can also reap the benefits of doing it electronically. And then, of course, we talked about easy and effortlessness yesterday. It needs to be simple, whether it's an aggregation journey, whether it's a lending journey, or whether it's a partnership journey. It's simple taps, no numbers, not a huge amount of text, that it's one simple tap, whether you are linking accounts or whether you're making that choice to participate in the partnership with that fintech. So we've talked about initiating that access. What about managing this? And this is more important now to deliver a great experience, now that we have some barriers in place, or perceived barriers at least from an SEA perspective. Tenet here, of course, is about control. So the customer must feel control of their data. And how do they feel that control? By making things very clear and visible to them of what they have control over. And it has to be really simple and easy interface to be able to do this in one tap, few words, very clear to them. And we talked about renewing access. There were lots of discussions around this. How do we implement this to make it easy for customers? Well, I particularly like this provider. This is Plum in the UK. It's a savings fintech. Whenever you go into their platform, you have that opportunity to renew that access. They don't wait until 90 days to give you the communication to renew that access. Right? It's about, they tell you how many days, and they give you an option to renew every time you get onto that platform. So they take that opportunity to allow the customer to take action immediately. And moreover, while the customer is on the platform, in managing this, they also ensure that the customer feels compelled to act. We talked a lot about value yesterday. This makes value very, very explicit to the customer. Why should you share your data with this provider? Why should you share this data with a fintech? Because you can lose money. You're losing money. It's not a huge amount, right? But I know this is probably the amount for one of my son's lunches for a term. Right? Simple as that. It's quantified that for me. And I'm being overcharged, so I can fix this in 90 seconds. We talked about speed yesterday. It's true, you can actually fix this in 90 seconds. So I've talked about some good examples. And yesterday, we talked a lot about China, we talked about Asia. When we communicate about customers, about porting and sharing the data, it's not just about what is happening right now, but also what can come. What is the true opportunity for customers? So this is an example of PhonePe in India, where you have fantastic integrated journeys, whether it's fully digital or whether it's offline with QR codes. And of course, we talked about having unified standards. Well, there you have one. And how quickly and how fast that consumer and customer experience can be. Customers will be able to do more. Now, we all know that we are competing with far better customer experiences, right? From big tech, from retailers, from the larger techs and the unicorns that we have. And what I'd like to see as a customer is that we move away from experiences like this, where there are broken journeys, where I have to go in and it doesn't work, when I'm perhaps disappointed after September. One of my team members had to wait about 4 months before they could relink their accounts. And I like to be really optimistic, to be able to be empowered as a customer, to have a fintech-powered journey like this. And in effect, what I truly like as a customer is to feel empowered to be the captain of my own data. Thank you.